Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Penberlan Farm. Today we're going to be doing some mowing. I think we're going to start off at field 13, do some mowing up there, and then kind of work our way around the map from there. And don't worry, we'll get into a crop harvest very soon indeed, but we do need to focus on the mowing right now, because that's kind of the important job. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to... Did I remember to put the thing in? Because I've got a couple of mods in my folder somewhere that I want to use here. Ah, I did. Wonderful. So let's get rid of the tether, and I think we got a tether at least. The tether and windrow we're currently using. There we go. Let's sell that. And we'll actually sell the Merge Max because it's a bit wonky to work with. And as a new tether, we're going to get the Jarmet Z525, which I've somehow got two of. Let's get the more expensive one, because it's probably going to be better. And in terms of windrowers, let's have a look at what we've got. Let's get the bog standard Kuhn GA 9531. Two rotor windrower. It's going to be a bit better for this size of map, I think. And for some reason I'm still getting massive frame rate issues at times. I'd love to know what's causing them. I really would. So this grass isn't fully grown, which is fine. It's fine. It really is fine though. Because... There we go. I want to make some hay, and I want to make some hay, some small bales. I want to make some small bales of hay because I haven't done that in a little while. I haven't done old school small bales. Now, the problem I'm going to run into pretty quickly is what am I going to do with the bales? I'm going to tell you right now, those bales are going to get sold off. Reason being, I don't see the point of having 5 million small bales hanging around the map. And I will bale all of this into small bales. Now, the upside is, we're in late summer, it's going to take about 3 days for the grass to grow again. And that'll take us up to late autumn, which is actually about the time that I want to be mowing next anyway. With seasons, you can mow 3 times a year. Late spring, late summer, and late autumn. Now, mowing in late autumn, you'd really be wanting to do silage. Same in late spring, you could possibly get away with doing a bit of hay, but the summer is definitely when you want to be doing hay. And seeing as I've cheated a bunch of hay bales into the shop, there's no real point in me doing hay bales to keep right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell them. I'm going to make a bunch of small bales, just kind of for funsies, more than anything else. Sell them off, and we'll get some money out of it. We do have £55,000 right now, which is great because I did, you know, downsize some equipment to get cheaper stuff. It's always always a good idea. Is if you're unsure, get smaller equipment. If you think your equipment's too big, it probably is. If you think your equipment's too small, it's probably the right size. Now that tether I'm pretty sure is actually too small, but we're going to use it on a couple of fields at the very least. If it does turn out to just take an age to do anything, we will get a bigger tether. I'm not completely insane. We do need to clean the pigs out at some point as well. I've noticed their cleanliness is at 0%. The cow's cleanliness is at 9%, so they do both need to be cleaned. I'll probably do some animal work in the next video, because I do need to feed the cows as well, and give both the cows and the pigs some water. So I'm hoping the next video will be a combination of tedding and windrowing and maybe doing the animals as well. What I will do though is I'll make sure and ted and windrow a small field so that it doesn't take forever to do. There we go. And we'll do the outside round of this field as well. I want to get the maximum amount of grass for my grass. You can see, by the way, that the grass is suddenly a lot more dense than it was previously. The giant's grass does in fact grow more densely than well, the giant's seeded grass with the seeded texture underneath does in fact actually grow more densely than if you just put down the grass texture that you can use as a paint, which is in field 12, field 11 even. It's much more dense grass. It's more of a crop grass than just a decoration grass, which is what the... It's why I always say to map makers, I've said it to DustyDave, I've said it to Lancy Boy, you need to be using the giant's grass, the new style of grass, because it is actually better for gameplay. If you have some decorative grass, fine, you can use the old style, but the new style is actually just better all around for ensuring that, you know, the player gets as much grass as they can from any given field, especially if you've got a reasonably grass heavy map, because number one, you'll get more grass. Number two, and this is kind of the more important point, the player doesn't have to come in with a plough to create fields and make a mess of the map. They can just come in with a cultivator on a Tuesday and say, okay, this field is going into wheat for the next harvest, I'm just going to cultivate it up because I don't have forced ploughing on, and I'm going to make a wheat field out of it. In fact, I might actually run over to the shop myself and get the tether and do this field. I want to see how this turns out as a grass field. You can see where the old style grass is over there. There's not as much of a yield coming out of it. The giant's grass is, of course, fertilized as well, and will fertilize as well. Will fertilize the ground. So the way this is going to work out is going to be basically I mow the grass to get just all of the grass. I'm pretty sure I got one fertilization stage, or just one stage fertilization turned on at the moment. Could be 3 stage still. If it is, it doesn't really matter too much. There we go. Turn the mower off. Raise it up. Fold it up. And out through the gate like nothing happened at all. Wonderful. Let's see what's free at the moment. Yeah, let's use the Massey, because it's actually in need of going over to the shop anyway, because it needs to be serviced, apparently. How badly does it need to be serviced? Well, it just says maintenance required. Which basically means it's got to be serviced. Pretty badly. This thing's probably going to conk out once or twice on the way over, which isn't a big deal. So let's just see how many accidents we have. Or how many times the engine fails, I guess. 1. It's 1 failure. We should be able to get to the shop on this. We might not be able to. We might get a second failure before we actually get to the repair point of the shop. Let's put the beacons on for realism's sake. I do have the beacon light mod turned off at the moment because it doesn't work very well with buy bales. Second engine failure should be happening anytime now. There we go. The engine failures are somewhat scripted, so you can actually tell when they're going to happen. If you have an engine failure after 30 seconds, it's going to be a failure every 30-ish seconds. And let's grab the little teeny tiny tether. This tractor's possibly a bit big for it, just looking at the tether compared to the tractor, but it'll do. There we go. We do need to attach the PTO. Does this thing also act as a windrower? No, I have seen one, I can't remember which one it is, that does actually also act as a windrower. And what I want to do as well is just pull into the repair zone here. There we go. And Alt R. 910 pounds gone. The tractor will now work for 30 engine hours or 6 days. Which will get us into Windrowing. We'll probably be wanting to maintain it anyway. Let's just check the tether's working. It is. Wonderful. There's no unfold on the tetherer. And it looks like we're going to have a right or left bias to whatever we're doing. I'm guessing this thing would also windrow. I mean, the way that it's laid out, you could basically get one of them. Yeah, if you turn down the rotation speed of them, that's a windrower. That'd be very convenient, wouldn't it? Tedding and windrowing all in one pass. Which technically is what some tedders actually do. American rakes, I know, do it. So we don't need to worry about the tractor breaking down again. That's a worry that's now gone out of our minds. Field 9, the crop fields, other than the field I've been using for silage, which still needs to be finished, by the way. They are on the first harvest stage, which means I can't actually harvest them. Sounds dumb, but that's the way seasons work, is they have to be in the last harvest stage. Or stage like 3, ready to harvest or whatever it is. For them to be harvestable properly. Season's hard overrides everything to do with that. So let's get into the field here. Probably shouldn't have parked the class right where I did, but it'll be... Yeah, I can drive past that and hit a phantom collision. Lovely. That's probably actually the edge of the gate that I just hit. Or at least as the game saw at the edge of the gate. So let's ted this up. And yeah, this tether is a bit small for the map, I think. We'll do a couple of rounds of this thing and possibly... What other tethers do I have? Because there is one somewhere. Is it the Pekea? Or is it a windrower I have? No, it's not a windrower, it is. I'm sure I've got a tether somewhere that actually does also work as a windrower, and it might have been the cheaper of these two small rakes. Or small tethers, I should say. That said, with a 5610, you don't want to be putting a big, massive... 5, 6, 7, 8 rotor tether on the back. You would realistically be using something like this. So I'm not gonna be too concerned about it taking a while. I've got time. But in terms of making videos for you guys, well, normally I wouldn't be too concerned. I kind of like tedding. It's bit of a mindless job. I mean, you just drive around the edge of the field and you don't really take much notice of what's going on in the field. You just line yourself up and you're away. But for videos, you kind of want to be doing things a bit faster. So what I might do is, and I'm just kind of thinking out loud now, what I might do is I might get a slightly bigger tether, like the Pekea. And just for the sake of getting things done in a reasonable time frame, get that reset over to the reset field, which is actually field 11, which is part of the reason field 11 is fully grassed over like that. There's no point in me having actually any crops in there because I do use crop destruction. Let me think. I am thinking the Pekea might be the best option. We also need to refuel this thing at some point because we're down to 47 litres of fuel. And we're using 20 litres now. We've got about 2 hours left of fuel. So we should be fine for fuel at the very least. It is in fact the Yeah, let's swap headers out real quick. So let's go to the garage, sell this one, which should be over here somewhere in the mods section. There it is. Sell that because it's just a bit too small for what I want, or what I need. And we'll get... I really don't know what the difference between these two is. We'll get the Pekea 910, which is actually the same width. That's 6 meters, that's 8.7. We'll get the Vicon then. Kinda wish I could do something smaller, but the Vicon's probably about as small as we want to get. Vicon should be... we'll reset the windrower while we're here. While we're in this menu, we might as well reset the windrower and the tether. Yes, I did just swap something out that was Coon for something that was not Coon. Those of you who are taking note of the equipment I'm using. I am not sponsored by Coon. I wish I was, because that'd be kind of cool. It just so happens that a lot of the equipment of the sizes that I want is actually Coon equipment. So let's attach this thing. Lift her up. Because I'm just going to be driving straight through the hedge here for speed and ease. We will completely... well, we'll unfold it and completely ignore the fact that the hedge exists for a moment. Hey, look, there's no hedge here. Wow, what a miracle. How convenient. There we go. And let's lower it, turn it on, and away we go. You can see instantly that we're doing about twice, well, roughly about twice as much as we were. In a single pass, and we're going to be done with this field pretty quickly. A lot of the... I want to say issues... well, a lot of the time you spend heading is just kind of taking the corners and making sure that it's not too badly done. He says, completely whiffing that. I always talk about, you know, stuff that maybe you don't play in your usual way for YouTube. This is one of these times. Normally I'd just go with the smallest stuff I possibly could, which would have been the jar mitts, and I'd take a lot longer to do this. But for YouTube's sake, I'm going to get something a bit bigger than I'd maybe want to use myself, just to get it done in a more reasonable time frame. Because I know you guys don't want to be sitting around for the next half hour or whatever. And I know this video ain't gonna be half an hour long, but you guys wouldn't want to be sitting down just watching me go up and down with the teeny tiny little tether. You prefer something like this where it's just a bit bigger. It's only about twice the size, but it's doing it in a much more timely manner. We are making good solid progress to this field, and we should be able to get it done by the end of this video. In fact, I'm kind of hoping we can do a bit of windrowing at the end of this video as well. That'd be pretty sweet. And I will once we got the tedding done at least. Well, actually, this is something you never do with the tether, is reverse, but I actually want to get in here like this, because I know I missed bits over here, especially up at the top of the field, and just go along, and you can see that the hay does look slightly fluffier than it did. It doesn't look quite like hay yet still. I think Giants have a bit of work to do on the windrow size for hay. It just doesn't, it looks like kind of, well, wet hay. It's the right colour, roughly speaking, but I don't think the size and the fluffiness aspect of it is there. The same issue is there with the straw. It just doesn't look like straw. The grass, it looks like grass. It looks like wet, freshly cut grass. Hay and straw, kind of weak points there. One thing I will say though is fields do look absolutely gorgeous when you've tedded them, because they do at least mostly resemble genuinely tedded fields, because in real life tedders do kind of row up the grass a bit. Not as much as they do in farm sim, they do kind of put rows into the grass like this. You get the odd bit that flies out in a random direction, because that's kind of what tethers are supposed to do, but... Right, let's get the baler, and hopefully... This is assuming I've remembered to activate the baler in the mod list. I did in fact activate the baler. The bale slide, please. And the bale trailer is going to be this thing in HD bale mode. Because we're going to make the UAL V2 bales. We can actually use the little Massey to windrow as well. Why not? Don't use this thing nearly enough, so let's use it for the windrower as well. Might even... I'm really tempted to use the Deutz on the baler actually. Because I want excuses to use that little Deutz. I'm having to get... Oh, we're down to effectively 1 hour's running on this thing. Because it does heavily depend on what piece of equipment we're pulling. This thing is a lot heavier than the tether was, so we've got significantly less... Well, we're using significantly more fuel than we were. Right, let's unfold this. Just nudge it forward into the field a bit more. Turn it on. Put it down, and away we go. And that looks like, well, very roughly speaking, a windrow of hay. So let's get the windrowing done, and hopefully we'll be done... How long have we recorded for? We won't have time to bale in this video, but we'll have the field ready to be baled. And in this evening's stream, the stream that will be going live about 5 o'clock this evening, what I plan on doing is finishing the silage. I'll be leasing, using creative money, leasing a big forage harvester. We'll just do a big true size forage harvest just to get silage done. Then we'll get it to mowing the rest of the fields, try and ted them up and get them ready to be baled as well. Tomorrow, Thursday, I don't really have a plan for the stream. I'll figure that out as we go. It might be setting up Goral again, but it might be doing more work here on Penberlan if I can get Goral set up. Now, I do want to play Goral, I really do, but the save game deciding to corrupt itself, that was not very nice. I haven't really had the time to get around to do it because I've been busy with a mini project and just everything's been going wrong the last few days. It's all just like, you know, those weeks where everything just goes wrong on you and you hate yourself for it. That's been my last kind of week or so, where just everything's gone wrong. So I do apologize for all the promises that I made, including the Goral video that I couldn't keep, because that was kind of the start of the everything is going wrong streak. There we go. Hopefully next week it'll be business as usual. Goral will all be set up and I'll have a video out to let you guys choose whether you want Goral or Penberlan to be the kind of anything can happen let's play. The general traditional style let's play that I really do enjoy doing on this channel. I like having one where I'm a bit more realistic, like I am on Thornton, and one where a bit more can happen. Like I can drive through hedges and use this little thing on this big thing and just have silly vehicles around the place. But I think that's about enough. That's about all we have time for today. I will leave you by saying I've been RainbowDave. You've been watching Farming Simulator 17 on Penberlan Farm. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I will be back on Penberlan on Friday, where we will be doing literally something that I haven't figured out yet, but I'm going to record in a few minutes. It's going to end well. Until then, actually we'll bail up that field, why not? Let's bail up that field in the next episode. Until then, stay safe, and goodbye.